Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hi there everybody, and welcome to, well, it's a bit of an upgrade to my camera system. And I bought myself a new camera, and previously a lot of people have asked me what sort of camera mounting am I used to do my videoing with, and it's been very difficult to show people because the simple reason is the camera's always on it. Now, a couple of other people are actually using the setup that I've got. John Moore, he's actually got a setup exactly the same as what I've got, but John's does really need oiling because it does squeak and grunt a lot. Kevin Vegan, he's got a setup. Even Beasley's got a setup because they all was interested in what I was using, and they bought the equivalent. Now, to set up for your camera, price wise, it's going to cost you 15 quid, which isn't a great deal of money. And what I'm running on now is the setup, but I'll show you exactly what it is. Now, start off with microphone stands. These are very cheap, you get them off eBay. $5.99 this is, and there's nothing much to it. You get a bench clamp, you get the microphone holder, and you actually get your extendable arm, which we'll put there. I mean, I've got quite a few of these. I've got one on with my microphone, and I've got one on my camera, so we'll put that down one side. Like I say, nothing too spectacular about that. Cheap and ideal. Now, the next thing is that you want your camera, because when you fit your camera to this, you haven't got very much movement. You know, you can't manipulate it around to where you want it. So the next thing is that I bought, and believe me, I went through a lot of things before I actually settled for what I'm showing you now. This is a mag mount for one of them not LEDs, they're the cameras, the SLR cameras, and these are the mounts they use for lights, extra screens, flashes and things like that. Now, there's not much to them. And by the way, these cost $8.99, and I will put links for all these in the description box, so if you want to find out more, you can. Now, in the box you get all the bits and pieces you need if you're a professional photographer, which I'm not. The only bit I'm really interested in is this bit in this bag. Now, this bit is this is 11-inch arm altogether, but this moves in all different ways, like so, and it's actually got a camera mounting point on it as well, which is brilliant because it saves a lot of aggravation. The one thing I will say though, I mean, if you're using a mobile phone, as a lot of people do a lot of filming on their mobile phone, I mean, this is great. You can use this, put a stand on, and it also comes with a clamp, which I never use the clamps, but I always leave them in the drawer. But you can actually connect this straight to this clamp, like so. I won't screw it all the way on, and then you can actually clamp that to, you know, a bench or a piece of pipe, and you can use that with your phone, you know, in any direction as you want. As you can see, look, you can go anywhere with that. Then once you get it into the position, you tighten the nut up, which was rather loose, and then it will stop where you want it. Very, very clever little bit of kit, and very, very cheap. Like I say, $8.99. So take that off there as well. So what I'm doing, I combine the two. The microphone stand, we've already got a hole at the end here to house the microphone holder itself. But if we put that in, I hope you can see what I'm up to. If we put that in there, now we've got a longer arm which can be clamped to the edge of the desk, the bench, and we've got an arm that will actually move anywhere we want. Now it's very difficult to show you this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera and I'm going to assemble this and put this into the position of my old camera, which is we're using now, and then you can actually see just how versatile it is. Okay, I've moved the camera and welcome to my little world. Now I've already put I don't know what they're actually called. I've actually put the flexible arm, we'll call it, the flexible arm onto the microphone stand. And normally, you see, you can use your clamp and clamp it to the edge of your bench, like so. I hope you can see that, and you could use it that way. Now, my setup is, if we turn the camera up a little bit, you probably can't see this, but my setup, I have a fixing just above me. So this arm actually comes down like so, and I can use my camera, and then when I finish with it, I push it away. So I'm going to fit the camera. I have a brand new camera here. I've been dying to try and use it. So I'll get this out of the box. It's exactly the same one. Well, no, tell a lie, it's not exactly the same one. The one I'm using is the 920. This is the 930E. It's supposed to be slightly better. I don't know about that, but we'll find out. Why do they have to seal everything up? Seal it up for idiots like me. Excuse me, will I get a scalpel? There we go. It's sticky as well. Now, I normally, especially I've got on this one, I've got mine actually mounted on a mobile phone bracket, for the simple reason is I use both and it makes a great little handle. And what I normally do is a couple of zip ties and hold that in position. Have I got some zip ties at hand? Now this is going to be, well, I'll put you on pause, I'll get some zip ties. Okay, I've found some zip ties. Now I zip tie this on for the simple reason is I've tried fixings to hold it in place, and the problem is if you ever need to move your camera, take it somewhere else, it is such a bind having to, you know, muck about with it. With this, at least a pair of snips and a couple of snips and it's off. And it's the price of a couple of zip ties. A bag of zip ties don't cost that much. So we'll get this last one on. Right, that's zip tied on. As you can see, and here, put them up nice and tight. There we go. Pair of snips. Just trim them up. Make things tidy. Now, putting it on the actual mount, it does two things. It allows me to actually hold something to move my camera around, as you can see. Also, it does allow me to use my phone camera if required. It's not very often I use the phone camera, but now and again it's useful. So you can just actually, as you can see, loosen that off a bit, Simon. As you can see, I've got my phone camera in there, and and like I say, you can move that to wherever you want. So it's a universal thing. So I'll just take my phone out there and put that back. Now, another thing, I mean, I've got an extension lead, a USB lead up the top here, which you can't see because the lead on this is quite short, and I've got that running down to my computer. I've got other USB ports all the way around my work area that I can plug camera in, so I can move my camera anywhere I want at any time. And that is roughly about it. Now, if you've got a heavy camera, you might find that the weight of it will pull it down. If that's the case, if you get yourself a little spanner and there's these nuts on the joints, if you just give them a little bit of a turn, just to tighten them up, you'll find it will carry the weight. My good mate Beasley, he runs a big video camera. He had the same problem, and he just nipped them up, and he runs okay on it now. So that is it. All I've got to do now is I'm just going to run my cable up, then plug it in and see what happens, see if it's going to blow up on me or we're going to be working. But that's my little setup. It works very well for me. I'm quite happy with it, that happy that I've put my new camera back into the same position. And like I say, these are as cheap as chips. You don't have to be running a camera, you can be using your iPhone. I think you can even get a holder for one of the pads as well. But I'll put all the links in the description for you. If you want a link for this camera, I'll put a link in there. They're about, you can pick them up for about 60-70 quid. Very good cameras, by the way. And that's it. I'm going to say thank you. I hope it's been of some help to you, and hopefully we'll see you next time.